Yo, what's going on, Killer?
Hey, not much, man. How you doing?
Man, living life, dog. What about you, man? You about what, 4 weeks out? Oh, face
Yeah, man.
getting skinny.
Yeah, man. Feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. That's all I can really say. My eyes getting low. I don't know if that's because of the daggone sleep deprived or what, but hey, we here.
Hey, man, the little pictures you've been posting been looking real filthy now. Boy,
Hey,
putting in
man.
work.
Hey, hey, hey. I can't. Well, I don't talk, so I mean, all I did was announce. But I said I can't do all that and show up unprofessional, like. So I'm just trying to show up like a professional. That's it.
Absolutely, man. Well, let's get right into it. I think we have a great topic today, man. I think this is gonna put a little bit of buzz out there for some of us that do judge. We can take this and try to implement it and do better when it comes to athletes critique, when we give a critique back to the athletes. So the topic today is, how do you handle or how do you accept judges' critique and feedback?
Okay.
Phew.
It's multi-layered, brother. It's multi-layered here. Do you have like subsections? How are we breaking that down, or just overall how we receive it?
Man, just how I receive it. Let's jump into it, because I know there's for me, there's been times that I asked for judges feedback, and it was nothing. Hey, you look great. You did well. Good job. Like, do we call it, like, is that really judges feedback? You know what I'm saying? Oh, matter of fact, let's start here. What do you define, or what is the definition of judges feedback?
All right. So what I define as judging feedback is I prefer for there to be things that you liked about my physique, and then always an area for improvement. I think I try to do my best job at doing that. I always try to find, something nice to say, regardless of the person. Sometimes somebody personality may be the best thing they presented that day, but I'm going to definitely highlight that. So I think all judging criteria or all judging feedback should provide a way to get better. It has to be some type of positive or constructive criticism for me to improve my physique. Like, the last thing I want to hear is, "Hey, man, everything's perfect." Like, you didn't put no effort behind that. I don't care if I won. I don't care if I lost. Like, I know I don't have a perfect physique. Most likely, I know what I have to work on because I've been a seasoned pro, and most likely me and my coach already talked about what I need to improve on. But you reassuring that from a judging standpoint, or if you're not noticing those things, then apparently it may just not be that profound. But I always say you have to find something. Like, most of the people who win shows, those are the people who's most eager to hear what they can improve on. And if you don't give those people anything to improve on, then they're just like going to take that same physique to the next level, and it's not going to be good enough.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So I'm gonna start from the standpoint of me being a judge and how I give out feedback to competitors if they ask for it. So for me, we're sitting there writing down notes. I usually jot down my notes whenever they're doing their individual routines. If I have time to do it beforehand, then I try to do that also. Like, take little notes while they're on stage. But most of my critiques come when they're doing their individual routines or whatnot, right? So, like you said, I provide at least three good things I've seen about their physique and at least three things that they could improve on. And I always start my, critiques or my emails by, saying, hey, great job by stepping on stage. This is huge. Not everybody can do this. And then I go into, what they can improve on and the good things that I've seen about them or whatnot. But like you said, I never want to be that judge that just say, hey, you look great. Great job on your placement. Keep going. Because if you give that feedback to an amateur, that's setting them up for failure. Because now they think they're the hottest thing smoking and they don't have nothing to improve on. And like you said, it's going to set them up for the next stage in life.
And I'm like I said, mine is very similar. Most of the time, sometimes I even pose questions because it kind of shows you where someone is, where an athlete is mentally, or how aware they are with their physiques. So sometimes I even ask them, like, if it's in-person feedback, it's like, what do you think you could have worked on, or what do you think that you lacked in this specific show? Because it gives them a chance to kind of tell you, like, hey, man, I knew I wasn't lean enough. Is that what I need to work on? Because most of the time, as a pro, we should know where we lost the show at. And some people are just, I'm not going to say delusional. Some people are just not that self-aware of, to the point of like, they think they want to show, but they play six. You know what I mean? There had to be variables for you to have lost that show. Um, so I think mainly it's just being self-aware. I think posing that question gives them gives you an insight on maybe how much they know or how aware of the lineup they were. Like,
Right.
especially those for conditioning. Or I mean, the worst thing somebody want to hear is like, hey, maybe your shape don't fit this criteria. And maybe they're just not self-aware. Maybe nobody's telling them that. Like I said, I never tell someone where to go. I always say, hey, your physique will look great here as well. Maybe you should try that out as well. But I'm never going to be like, hey, you just need to go to bodybuilding. Like, you just don't got the classic look. And some people need that, right? But
Right.
you don't want to discourage anybody. I'll just always throw it out there like, hey, you look great in bodybuilding. And before we keep going, I definitely want to rewind it a little bit and start off with the proper channels to get feedback, guys, because I'm sure I judge a lot of shows, and they're usually not small shows. You judge a lot of shows, and they're usually not small shows. And some people split feedback where maybe we have to get back to 15 to 30 people max, or there's shows where you have to talk to 100 competitors. So the proper channels, y'all, I'm telling y'all, the proper channels, it's not, hey, I follow you on Instagram and I'm gonna blow up your Instagram. That is not the proper channels. I try to answer those because I don't want to seem like I'm not going to. But the proper channels is usually the promoter will provide you an email list. You're supposed to send the judges, regardless of whether it was yesterday and you respond on Sunday or it's Monday. Send them your number, stage number, some photos. I don't care if they're stage photos. I don't care if they're prep photos, because I'm judging your physique. I'm getting your physique from these pictures. And lastly, I think it's just those two main things. You could possibly say what division you competed in, so then that way, if I have it written in order, I could possibly go look it up. But do not say, hey, I'm just trying to get feedback for athlete number 37, and there's no pictures, no nothing. You just tell me your name. And there's 100 competitors in the show.
I like this game now. So, okay. So since you want to throw that little cookie out there, how long should a competitor wait to get feedback? Because I know there's some judges that take 3-4 weeks to get feedback, even longer than that. I heard of some cases where the athlete asks for feedback and they don't get any feedback at all. So
yeah.
How long, in your personal opinion, how long do you think it should take a judge to get a competitor feedback?
I thought he was going to ask a different question. That's why I started laughing. I think a reasonable amount of time may be a week after the show. And that's just because you never know. Like, most of us, we all work regular jobs after we leave that show. Most likely, if it's the show's on a Saturday, we're traveling Sunday, and we're back reacclimated into our personal lives on Monday. And if we have 100 people to get back to, you got to think about it. Like, that person is probably answering emails in between what they do on their day to day. So I would say at least give them the courtesy of a week. Because I was about to say, well, I'll ask you this question, because I think a week is good, long enough.
Right.
But how long until you stop responding to critiques? How long do they have to email you before you stop responding?
So listen. If somebody emailed me a month after a show talking about, can I get some feedback? Dude, no. Like, because like you said, me and you, we judge a lot of shows. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I might have done 3 other shows since you competed, and now you're asking me for feedback a month later? Absolutely not, bro. Like, I can't help you. And I mean, that might be harsh, but no. A month later? No, absolutely not.
Yeah. I even say, like, I think kind of the same sentiment of giving us, you know, if you email us that Monday and we get back to you that Thursday or Friday, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think after a week or two, it's kind of late. Like, why are you emailing 2 weeks after the show? Or are you just that mad for 2 weeks for you to email me 2 weeks after the show? Like, what is your reasoning for emailing at such a late time?
Yeah, absolutely. See, I was being nice with my month, but damn, 2 weeks? Okay.
2 weeks.
Oh, man.
2 weeks.
Nah, for
But
sure.
there was. Do you want to? Do you have any more questions about the judging? Because I know we wanted to highlight one other topic real fast.
Nah, just a tip for any new judge, or it could be a seasoned judge, man. The best thing to do when you are giving feedback, try to throw the criteria in there somewhere, so then they can't go back and say, "Well, this judge said it." No. Hey, listen, I'm giving you feedback according to the criteria. So that's something I always implement too. I always throw the criteria in there. So hey, this is not me. This is what the criteria says. So
Yeah, and I said I got to get better at doing that. It's not like I don't do it. It's almost like, you know, those close calls. And let's say if, for example, I don't have an exact names, but for example, when I judged the USBF show, they were talking about how conditioning was priority, how they wanted conditioning. So I of course led with that. I was like, hey, you know, we're really focused on conditioning. And for some reason, I was like, I would have liked to see you come in a little bit later.
right.
You know, but that's also based on the criteria as well. So it gives you a reason. And I don't think any judge need to out, because it's all subjective and it's what you see. So nobody really can alter what you see. Sometimes we can really disagree with what judges see. But like you said, if you lean towards that criteria and live on that criteria, then you always have something to fall and stand on.
Absolutely. Another thing I would say don't say, hey, I placed you first, or hey, I placed you second. Because therefore, like, you still got 5, 6 other judges on that panel. They didn't have that person first or second. So now you're like, that competitor can use what you said and try to speak for the whole panel. Well, this judge said they had me first. Well, yeah, the other judges had you fourth. So
right. No, that's facts. That's facts. All right. So we want to move over to completely switch gears to there was a show this past weekend, the Wisconsin Warrior. I want to make sure I get the classic guy, but usually we always state names and we were able to add pictures later, of course, to the reel for on Instagram. So definitely want to congratulate. I know 3 of the 5 winners. We got to figure out bikini and classic, but major shout out to Q1 bodybuilding, right? Rock solid. He won bodybuilding. So major congrats to Q. Great promoter out there. Shout out to Morgan. She actually was the figure champion at the Florida Pro Championship. So she went out to Wisconsin and won another title for the year, which is huge. I'm pretty sure she'll be dabbling real close. We'll see her in the OCB, because I know she is the OCB pro. So maybe we see her soon pop out at one of these women pro shows in the OCB. And lastly, that I know of, got Nathan Parker, of course, rounding it off once again. 4-time pro champ. Like I said, I told you he was trying to catch Jamal. So if Jamal shut it down to the York, he might could catch him. So we'll see.
Hey, he got me, bro. Hey, he got it, man. Because I know he's gonna keep rolling on. I'm done. He got me.
But I definitely want to highlight something, because I think we'll be doing this show a disservice if we don't speak on things that we see as athletes. And one thing that this show is promoted by an athlete, and I think it's her husband, Courtney. I don't want to get his name wrong, so I'll go back. But Courtney is a seasoned competitor, multi-time champion. And when Nathan sent me his bundle of things he got after the show, he had paid entry to 2 other shows. So he had paid entry into Florida Pro next year and Mr. America. And I think this is something that is often overlooked, but it's like chef's kiss, right? Because is that promoter is like, hey, you're my champion, and I want to do something for you. I don't want to just give you $1,500 and you go use this $1,500 to pay for your next show. I'm going to pay for these 2 big shows. So what do you think about that incentive?
Man, I can really appreciate that. Funny thing is, I had a promoter from a different organization reach out to me and ask me to do a show. And they said if I won the show, they would pay for my entry for the bigger show at the end of the year. And I just think that, no, that's dope. That's like, that's just showing that you appreciate that athlete in such a way that you're willing to kind of pay it forward. You know what I'm saying? And athletes will remember that, and they will freaking promote your show. Like, they will tell other people about your show. So then other people are like, well, dang, like, if this promoter's doing this, then I want to go over there and do this show and, hopefully win and get the same treatment. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's really dope, man. And some people may, oh, well, that's entitlement. It's not entitlement. That's that promoter showing appreciation for that person that just won their show.
And that person earned it. It's not, I don't think that's entitlement. Like, I think the one thing that I can say about that is, like, if there is a show that filters into a bigger show, which every organization has, and this is just one athlete, maybe 2 athletes speaking here, I think that's a bigger incentive than the I ain't gonna say than the check, but if somebody comes and make $500 at your show, or what's third place? Is it $750 now? No, like $500. I don't know how much those checks are, but if somebody come and get 5th place at your show, I mean 3rd place at your show, and then they got to go pay for the big show, they just spent half of that check on that show. So it's just like, I think honestly that might get athletes out to earlier shows, because we're always talking about, oh, athletes don't pull up to these early shows, but hey, I'll pay your Yorton bid if you were to win my show. And I'm speaking for the OCB, not saying, but any other organization as well is like, hey, you come win my show, because they also broadcast that person as their champion. So why wouldn't you want to send your champion to go compete at the biggest show of the season? Like, I think that's a great incentive. Like, you're losing out on one registration that you're paying for this one person. I think that's amazing.
No, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you, man. Like you said, it's just showing appreciation to the athlete, and the athlete earned that. You know what I'm saying? The athlete traveled to your show, won your show, so you're just paying it forward, And I just think more promoters should do that. I mean, they might say something negative about what we're saying right now, but it really goes a long way, man. It does.
And I think I said this, and like I said, I don't think this is a diss or a slight, but I think that's the difference of a person who she competes. She's actively competed for the past 5 years. And I think with her being so in tune with what an athlete may want, it's like, oh, okay, cool. And I think, like I said, we had a promoter series. We always say they do an amazing job. They provide you with all this stuff, but what if maybe that one thing that you didn't purchase for the athlete was your pro thing to go send them to that place, I know that's something, if I ever promoted a show, I would definitely want to implement, because I think that will bring people out. Like, granted, you're going to have at least one pro show up. We know that much, because they want to go. And I think when when September comes around and they hypothetically live in California and they got to pay for flights, hotels, everything to get to the place of their destination, but I don't even have to worry about my registration fee. Like, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I might be getting ahead of myself, but maybe this is something for years to come. Like, just sponsor that athlete's Yorton trip, or sponsor that person's Universe trip or USBF trip. Like, hey, you know what? I'll sponsor your tan, your polygraph, and your entry fee. All you have to do is get there. As an athlete, you'll take that package, because that package costs $500?
the OCB tried to do that last year, but it wasn't necessarily for the winners. It was for, was it for the people in like Australia or something trying to come to? It was somewhere, I forgot, but they tried to do something like that last year. So
yeah. But I think that's a step in the right direction. So shout out to Courtney Spaeth, and the Wisconsin Warrior. That's how you lead from the front. That's how you do something. And who knows, other organizations and other shows may pick that up and potentially start sending people to the big show. And heck, honestly, a lot of shows would have saved some money this year. They did it because Jamal won all the shows. So I mean, only one person would have had to pay. They could have split it. Split it in four. Right. That's all y'all had to do.
Hey, listen, I'm good. I don't need them to try to pay. Nope, I'm good, bro. Like I'm absolutely great. I appreciate each and every promoter that, you know, I went to their show and won, because like I said before, those are people that I actually, you know, I like, and I think they do a great job at promoting for sure. But yeah, man, other than that, I'm good.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, major shout out to Courtney. And yeah, like we said, we recapped a couple things on judging feedback, how to receive judging feedback, and things of that nature. Shout out to Wisconsin Warrior. And of course, shout out to our sponsor, Chulaware. Of course, if you guys need any gear for getting on stage, trunks, shorts, any backstage gear, make sure to go grab that stuff. Use code eShow10 or Carolina Muscle. Get that good old family discount, as we always say. And lastly, of course, I am still taking lifestyle and posing clients and competition clients for the 2026 season. So I think right now we're getting to that range of getting too dicey for 2025 season. For me personally, Jamal, what about you?
Listen, I'm not taking no one else for 2025. Like you said, it's mid-season. We're about to hit the back half of the season. So there's really nothing I can do for you that's going to benefit me or you. But yeah, definitely for 2026, holla at me for sure.
Gotcha. And just like that, y'all, it's a wrap. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.